You're listening to Inside the Mines with Dante Marsh and Ryan Hyde, a podcast about life, lessons, and whatever the hell else they want to talk about.
On today's podcast, we got my good friend, west side of Fresno's finest, Edison High School product, drafted out of high school in baseball. Some people don't know that. Started 45 consecutive games at UCLA for the Bruins. First team all Pac-10, 3 straight years, before being drafted in the third round by the Carolina Panthers. Rick also played for the Chicago Bears, St. Louis Rams, Oakland Raiders, and then ended up Florida Tuskers, Virginia Destroyers at the end before he retired. With no further ado, Mr. Ricky Manning Jr. What's going on, man?
What up, bro? Solid, man. Chilling. Let's call it.
Talk to me, man. So what you got shaking and baking this morning? You with your little mans and them at the 707?
Yeah, man. We my 10-year, I got 4 boys, man. My 10-year-old, which is he's not my youngest, but he's my second youngest. If that's how you say it, had a little 707 this morning, man. They got drugged. They got drugged. It was all bad. They picking some older kids, man, and they know how they act. So, yeah, that's what we had, man. A little 707, but man, I'm glad to be in some kind of ball, at least, you know.
Definitely. All right, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get down to Fresno, man. We know how we do. Chop it up.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. You know it's home, baby. Home away from home for you.
I know. So
I heard them dogs about to start back up.
Yeah, man. You know they gonna get busy, man. You know you an honorary because you from the know. But second time we played y'all at the Rose Bowl, we almost got in that ass, but we couldn't pull it out.
Nah, couldn't pull it out. It's all good.
It's all good. So real quick, man, let's get into Why don't you take us to, by the way, my good friend and my co-host, Ryan Hyde.
What's going on, Ricky?
Yeah, what's going on?
So one thing, brother, I got to say one thing to you. So Dante and I usually talk during the week. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, something about podcasting or whatever. So Dante leaves us this name. So Ricky Manning Jr. is all it said. I'm like, Ricky Manning Jr. I'm thinking, why do I know that name? Ricky Manning Jr. All of a sudden, alarm bells start going off in my head. Hold up. Just wait a second here. I remember Ricky Manning Jr. Back in 2003 in the NFC Conference game, championship against Philadelphia, you got 3 interceptions against my Philadelphia Eagles. And I was cursing you left, right, and center. And you, to me, became public enemy number 1. What can you tell me about that game?
Yeah, man. You're right about that, man. That's the 2003 season. Yeah, crazy that game, man. That Philly had a good team that year too. Westbrook was doing his thing. McNabb obviously was leading the team, doing his thing. You had B. Docs on the Brian Dawkins on defense, actually they beat us earlier that year in the season, right? They came to Carolina and beat us earlier that year, right? But when the takeaway I got from that game was that I wasn't really too impressed with their receivers. Like I wasn't even Freddie Mitchell was my boy too. And he was on the team from UCLA, but I wasn't too impressed with their receivers. And then I saw the week before they barely beat Green Bay with that 4th and 26.
Yeah.
Right. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
That was the week before. So I really studied that film hard and watched how Al Harris, Mike McKenzie was manhandling the receivers. And I thought, yeah, that's what we're gonna do, right? And I made a rookie mistake by being on like a local podcast or radio interview like we are now, and I mentioned this, not knowing that when you get to the NFC Championship, everything is national. No matter if it's local, everything is national. So I got back to him and it was this big blow up. Like, Dante, you know the rules. You never get bulletin board material. Well, I gave him a lot of bulletin board material going into the game. But what happened was my team responded in a way like, hey, we got your back. Let's go. So we went out there, man, behind enemy lines. I told my parents they couldn't come to this game because it was in Philly, and I didn't trust it, right? Because Philly fans are crazy. was like, y'all got to stay back home. You can't come to this game, right? Which was probably a good move, depending on actually because of how good my game was. It was like my dad would have been in the stands yelling, and it just probably wouldn't have been pretty, right? Yeah. But anyway, we go to that game. Fast forward, man, and it was awesome. It was a battle, man. It was a low scoring game, and I just we went out there real physical, real aggressive, and it worked in our favor, man. And my teammates and I were able to capitalize off of it, man. I had 3 picks. Donovan kept trying me, man. He kept trying me, and I capitalized off of it, man. And it ended up really helping us win that game, man, and get to the Super Bowl.
For sure. Yeah, it was Todd Pinkston was who you burned at least once. I don't know if it was on all 3 of them. Like you said, I mean, Philly, they didn't have a huge receiving core, but yeah, Pinkston got burned for sure. And I was never a big McNabb fan. And then the Super Bowl the following year in 2004.
Wait, hold on. How could you not be a McNabb fan? Those games he won for y'all?
Choke.
Took you to the Super Bowl. What quarterback took you to the Super Bowl since then? Besides, obviously,
Nick Foles. Well,
and Nick Foles didn't. Carson Wentz did.
Carson Wentz took us to the second last game, and Nick Foles finished it off. And pulled some strings out of his ass and made that happen. But yeah, no, I do not like Donovan McNabb at all. And I don't like now that he comes in, he comes into Philly, he gets on the social media, he talks shit about all of Philly's quarterbacks. And I'm just not a fan. I never have been.
I mean, I'm glad that the Eagles finally got a championship. I mean, I'm old school, so I like the Randall Cunningham, the Seth Joyers, the Mark McMillans, the early '90s version of the Eagles, pretty damn good. So playing with Randall on Tecmo Bowl was it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I've known Rick over a little over 20 years. He were at Edison High School when I got to Fresno State as part of Pat Hill's first recruiting class at Fresno State, and I used to come to watch your games your last year because obviously we had some mutual good friends, Tyree Sams and Adnoff Harris. So it was a treat to come watch you, man, playing quarterback in high school. To walk the people through a brief timeline starting at Edison.
Yeah, man. Well, the E, man, E is a special place, man. It's the west side of Fresno, right? It ain't, it's the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's the hood, man. But the crazy thing about it, man, it's a great school. It's really diverse. It's probably one of the most it is the most diverse school in Fresno. And we have a great academic program. And what that did was it really integrated different ethnicities in our school, which was awesome, right? Great experience. Especially playing baseball and football there. But it's the West, right? It's the West. It's grimy, man. We gutter. You know about it, right? But again, we're a small city, man. Small blue collar dudes, man, just grinding, trying to earn respect nationally, kind of like Fresno State was, right? When you got there, same thing. On trying to get on the map. That's how we were at Edison, man. And we had dudes, man. We had killers. A lot of courage, man. A lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's what really got us out of it, man. I kid you not, I thought I was 5'10". When I was sophomore in high school at quarterback, I'm like, I'm at least 5'10". I'm gonna be 6. My dad's 6'4". I might be going to Nebraska, somewhere like that, running this wing T. That's what I thought originally, right? And then I realized I was 5'8" and 3/4, and that them quarterback dreams wasn't happening. I quickly got winning that defensive side. So that's kind of how it went, man. We balled it out, man. I played both ways. I was a force on both sides, man, playing safety most of the time, right? So that's where my physicality came from when I moved to corner at college, and became not just a cover corner, but I was a tackling corner, right? It was because of all that time at safety, you know what I mean, filling those holes out, filling those lanes. So that the E was everything for me, man. It shaped me, man. It gave me my confidence, my personality, man, my game. And it really was a stepping stone, man, for me to progress and excel in the game of football, man. So, and life too. So that's the E, man. That's the West.
So let the people know. I'm curious to know. I don't know if we ever got into this conversation to this point. You were a very damn good baseball player. So you got drafted out of high school, correct? So
Yep.
why did you choose to pursue football instead of, Major League Baseball?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I was a baseball player. Like baseball was my number one sport for a long time. I love football, of course, but baseball is my number one. And really, to be honest, I didn't really plan on going to the NFL. NFL wasn't in my picture when I came out. I always wanted to play college football. Like, and in real talk, people are like, why? I used to love the band. I love college bands. When you come out there and the band's playing at me, like I love that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Or to come out, like you coming down that ramp, watching Fresno State come down that ramp, or any college the atmosphere, man. So I was like, I gotta play college football. So when I got drafted, I told the Twins like, hey, I got a full ride scholarship to UCLA, and I want to go play football as well. I'm gonna play 4 years, and then I'm gonna retire from football and play baseball full time. That was the plan going out, right? But then, baseball, people don't understand that everybody gets drafted to go to the minor leagues, right? And I went from playing baseball all year round in high school, right? And just football during the football season, because baseball was, we was summer, we was spring, we played a little bit longer. So when I went to college now, right, football in college, it's all year round. You got spring. I to be eligible, I got to be in class all the time, and I also had to be in football. So it reversed. Now I was in football all year round, and I only played baseball in the summer. And I would be in minor league baseball. So I was a professional athlete in college, and I had a nice summer job. That's what it is. I had a nice summer job. I'd go play baseball for 6 weeks for the Twins in minor league baseball, right? In these small little cities, 10 fans in the stands, practicing and playing the game every day. And it was cool. But then I go back to the Rose Bowl and play in front of 90,000 people on ABC against Alabama, against Michigan. Like, I was like, okay, well, it really, my love for baseball, I didn't lose it, but football took over. You know what I mean? Because big time college football was like these games against SC, these games against like these big colleges, man, like it was live. So slowly but surely, then people start talking about, oh, man, this guy has NFL potential. And I'm like, what? I wasn't even thinking about the NFL. Sophomore year, NFL potential. I'm like, okay, cool. So then it started going in my mind. And then by the time it came down to it, man, I kid you not, my summer before my senior year in college, I was playing in AA ball. It was a little bit bigger now, right? I mean, single A ball. And now it's about 1,000 fans. We playing night games. We got come out music now. When we come out, I kid you not, my come out music was Monday Night Football. I was letting them know that this is my last year playing baseball because I'm going to the NFL next year. So that's kind of how I draw out, man. The natural love of the game, man, kind of took over. My first love of baseball.
Okay. Yeah, man. People need to know this, man. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, I mean that's real. A lot of people don't know that, man. I ain't told too many people that, but that's kind of how it went down, man. I retired from baseball before I got drafted.
Hey, it worked out. It worked out for the best, man, because you really did your thing at the NFL level, man. I was super proud of you, even though I'm from Oakland. I have, membership in Fresno.
No.
So yeah, man, it was big. You put on for the city, man, and you continued the tradition. Talk a little bit about the tradition at Edison High School in Fresno.
Man, so our tradition at Edison, man, really, we had DBU, man. A lot of DBs come out of there, right? A lot of defensive backs, and one of the main persons that create that foundation as of late in the 21st century is Tone Perry, the late Tone Perry, right? DB Guru, what he became known as, right? So a lot of our DBs came out. A lot of it had to do with him, I was one of the first, I mean, officially Tyree's one of the first because he went from, he went over to the dark side. He was a receiver, but went over to DB at Fresno State. So he ended up kind of lightweight being the first. But I was really the first DB to come out and go D1 under Tone Perry tutelage, right? And then after that, it was just guy after guy. Tevin McDonald, Rob Golden, Cliff Harris, like just name after name, right? So it's really the tradition of Edison. But when you look back at it, there's a lot of guys that I didn't even know. Now I know the regular guys like Charles Young, the great Charles Young that went to SC and Niners. Tim McDonald, of course, who was around when I was in Pop Warner, and both of his sons went to Edison. There's a lot of guys, Ricky Whittle, a bunch of names. So it's real rich on tradition and sending guys to the next level of college and professional. And even we had a couple of Olympians to go to Edison. So Edison's background of athletes, man, primarily in football, but also in other sports like Bruce Bowen, basketball. We had a lot. And then there, the crazy thing about it is there's so many more that could have came out of Edison, but because Tone Perry left to Central, now Central's on top and they got a lot of athletes, so a lot of credit goes to them. But those are West Side dudes, those are West Side dudes. So it's kind of the history about it, man.
Yeah, it kind of remind me of the great McClymonds High School in West Oakland. We got Bill, MC Hammer, Dante.
Yeah.
Listen, man, right? So, no.
Yeah, we like a low budget McClymonds, you know what I'm saying? I got a little bigger. I got a little bigger city, you know what I mean? A little more people.
Y'all got guys. Y'all got guys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no
definitely,
doubt.
definitely. How was your experience at UCLA while you was there? I know you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, like the environment, the aura, just the ABC games, man, the powder blue, man. How did you?
Yeah, man. Environment wise, man, it was awesome, man. It's a beautiful campus, man. For me, a little hood kid coming out, not really going too many places, right? It was awesome, man. Westwood, LA, big time, big city. It was cool, man. You see the stars on campus. Magic Johnson used to always be on campus. All the hoopers playing basketball. All the movie stars working out at Drake Stadium, man. Like that stuff to a 19, 20-year-old man was like, it was crazy. Playboy Mansion was right around the corner. Bel Air Gates. Bel Air Gates is right across the street from campus. It was great, man. It was a great time, man. Sunset Boulevard, going down the strip, man, having a ball, man. So having a full college experience, man, having a chance to go to the Playboy Mansion a couple times, more after college than when I was in college, but really having a good time, especially since it's not there no more. Really great memories there too. But yeah, man, that atmosphere was big time, man. It was Hollywood for real. And to add that on to playing at a premier college, get a premier education. It was icing on the cake, man. So it was great times.
Hold on. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get into UCLA right now. I'm out, guys. I gotta go. I'm out. See ya. I gotta get into this school right now. I'm missing out.
Yeah, for real.
So what was it like playing in front of 91,000 fans for home games at the Rose Bowl?
Man, it was awesome, man. I love those. Any guy that knows about those ABC games, man, you play afternoon, the atmosphere is crazy, man. Crazy hot. The weather's perfect, right? Weather's perfect. Pounding down that sun from in Pasadena, man. It's pounding down on these cats from different cities, different states. They think that heat is gonna be okay, but it's a little different, right? But it's a beautiful atmosphere, man. The fans are crazy, and they from all over, right? They're from all over. We have opposing teams that bring in fans. We played in Alabama one time. I think my sophomore year, they were ranked number 3 in the nation. They came to the Rose Bowl and they came deep, But that made for a great game, Crowd was bumping, man. It was live, and they came in thinking they was going to take that game away, but we had to come in and show them who we were. So games like that, man, you just never forget. I can never forget those games. I remember the summer going into that game because it was the first game of the year. Yeah, first game of the year. In baseball, my last week of baseball, I went 0-4 Orioles. Played against the Boston Orioles. I didn't get a hit that week because I was thinking about covering Freddie Millins that week. I got to cover this dude. This dude is so fast. We got Alabama this week, and I'm out here trying to play baseball. I can't get a hit. I can't focus, right? Couldn't wait for that season to be done, all right, and start playing football. But, yeah, no, those games, man, like Dante can vouch, man, you just become a different person, right? You become your fastest. You become your most focused. You zone in. You move like you can move. You get extra strength, man. At least for me, that's what it did. It just brought something out of me, an aggression, a sense of urgency that you just can't really get everywhere. So those big games, man. It was a big game every week. It was awesome.
Big time football, big
Yep.
time channel, prime time, and Nelly,
Old Nelly. That ABC games, man.
Yeah, man.
Best.
So after you finished up playing ball, you delved into coaching. So you was at Edison first,
Yep.
or okay, so Edison. So how did your coaching career kick off?
Man, it's crazy. When I was a player, I remember even at the Bears, I was like, man, I'm not gonna coach after I'm done. Like, it's too many hours.
Yep.
It's too much, man. I got kids. I got 4 boys. Like, I ain't never coaching, man. It's too long, too much. Right? And I didn't even plan on coaching, really. But it was crazy because, I'm a Christian, man. So I fast every Wednesday, right? And I swear, everything, like any news or any new step I got to take, it comes on a Wednesday. The day I'm fasting, the day I'm getting closer to God, right? And I was sitting in my office on a Wednesday, man, doing real estate, right? Investing and flipping properties with Oakland's own Terrence Frazier, right? And I kid you not, Tim McDonald called me on a Wednesday and was like, hey, I'm at Edison, but I'm about to either take this Fresno State job and become a DB coach there, or I'm going to go working with the Seahawks, with Pete Carroll, right? And I need you to take over. And I'm like, what? But it's crazy because when I got done playing, man, the reason why I kind of retired, man, I went on a 21-day fast, man, to hear from God clearly, because I didn't know. I was thinking, like, man, I broke my ankle. I need to recover. I need to go back. But I came out of that fast, man. He let me know that, look, it's time for you to go on your intended purpose, man. And that's to give back to the next generation of athletes. So I started training and doing things like that. So when Tim called me, I was already in my mode of pouring into kids training-wise, right? I was really focusing, making kids better. And then my wife was like, well, this is a perfect opportunity for you now to have access to a whole community of kids that where you came from. And I was like, man, she's right. I didn't look at coaching like that. I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it just differently, right? So I said yes to it. And then when it happened, man, that bug bit me and it was no turning back, bro. I was like, oh yeah, this is it. I love this. I love preparing. I love competition. I love preparing coaches. I love preparing players. I love being able to get, I really thought that my intended purpose was to pick Donovan McNabb off 3 times in the NFC Championship to beat Philly in Philly. I used to think that was my purpose.
Yep.
I was as a 5'9" corner, had that kind of success. I was purpose for that. But that moment really was for my intended purpose, and that's right now, to be that much more of an impact to these kids. So now when I speak, when I talk about things, not things that I learned at a clinic, not things that I learned from watching, but things that I've done, things that I've experienced, right? Things that I lived. So now when my words come out, it has more weight, So that's what those pictures for, Ryan. That's why God allowed me to have that success, so I can be a better coach.
Yeah.
So I can be much more of an influence. So, that's what it is, man.
Pretty much the exact same path and the road that I took. God allowed me to have success for my own selfish personal career, right? Those are our wants, our dreams, our goals, our aspirations.
Oh, hey, you thought it was for your own goals. You thought it was for you.
That's what I'm getting to. I thought in my mind that Dante, wanted, right?
Yeah.
Lo and behold, man, it prepared me for, me segueing into, the transition, the training, the mentoring, the motivational speaking. And then I had Johnny Holland. He was a linebacker with the Packers. He was on our staff one of my seasons up in Canada towards the end of my career. And he was like, yo, Dante, hey man, you ever thought about coaching? I'm like, man, I'm playing ball. I'm living my life, right? And he was like, no, I'm serious, man, because you probably don't realize it, but your last 3 or 4 years playing, you've been coaching. Them DBs are not going to the coaches asking them anything. They asking you. You're so detailed. I love the way you come to work. You physically and mentally prepare yourself. And those young men are asking you, and they're looking up to you, and you set a great example. You don't know how influential you are. You know what I'm saying? Oh. So yeah, that was it's a similar story, man. And I got into it, and I ain't looked back. I haven't looked back. Started 2015, and here we go, 5-6 years later. Still getting to it. So I know it feels good, and that's a thing that I live on too. Is like me having I call it OJT, on the job training, right? And I've done it. I've lived it. So when I speak it, it's real. It has weight. So yeah. That's definitely a huge advantage for the guys that you're training, coaching, and mentoring coming up. That's big.
Indeed, man. And I enjoy it, man. I it's a blessing, man, to be an impact, to be able to help. You know what I mean? To be able to guide and show these cats the game, man. So it's awesome, man. Love it. And, you know, like I said, never thought I would be in it. You know, even you know the trips I had in coaching, being a GA at 36 years old, you know, putting those kind of hours in, man. That's all for the love of the game, man. It's all for the love of the game. That's all for the passion, man, to be better. No ego, man, you know. Taking low roles and just becoming better, man. Sit back and watching and learning so I can be my best me.
Absolutely. And you know your shit. That's the other thing.
No doubt. 100%. 100%, man. And I'm still learning, right? I'm still learning. I'm still dissecting. I'm still getting better, man. It's a never-ending pursuit towards greatness. Never-ending pursuit, man. Ongoing learning, you know, and I love it, you know. I love it. So
I just want to ask this question, and we've already talked. I know what your answer gonna be, but you know, for shits and giggles, we gotta do it right. So for me, what's so big for me and why I love doing it is because it keeps me young. Like everybody swearing down, I lie that I'm about my age. Like I'm 41. Like no, you're not. Let me see your birth certificate. I love the process, and I know you do, and that's why you played and had the success that you had. I fell in love with the process, the preparation, the training, the competition and practice, the off-season part of it. And my thing is, I just think that some people have lost the love, or not even lost. The younger people, they don't understand the amount of love that you have to pour into that to be able to be successful. What are your thoughts on that with this next wave of young guys in terms of the way they approach the game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. With the preparation, I love it, man. I love all parts of competition, man. The process. You know, I think that the next generation of athletes, man, like I try not to go hard on them in a negative way. I try to look at the positives from the young generation, and yeah, it's different. Their process is different, man, but they also dealing with a lot of different things than we were dealing with, you know, and a lot of different pressures, you know. But also, too, I also think that they have an advantage as well. They have social media. They have tools and resources that we didn't have, you know, and they take advantage of them. And it's awesome because it helps spread the word. It helps make the game what it is today. It helps make the game to where a quarterback can sign a $500 million contract. You know, that wasn't happening. Why? Because we wasn't big like that. But a lot of that is credit to this next generation of athletes who made the game bigger, who created this technology, who enhanced the way we watch, the way we study, the way we play the game of football. You know, so I try and look at those attributes of it. You know what I'm saying? And then also, too, I also like my young cats that do have the old school mentality of preparation, man. But some of these guys, man, they're smart, man. They're smart, man. I mean, I coach Richard Sherman, man, and when I tell you this dude is smart, I'm like, I didn't know a lot of the stuff he knew when I was playing, you know, and I consider myself a student of the game. Now he's obviously one of the best, but watching guys like him and Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas prepare, like it gave me a new, like, okay, these next generation, Bobby Wagner, these next generation cats, you know, they're not about that. They about their business too. You know what I mean? Like they out there prepping and being ready and preparing. Now you're gonna always have your clowns. You know what I'm saying? They was out there when we was playing. They out there today. They not going nowhere. You know, especially the ones that can, you know, jack around and not do things and still make it. Like, man, this cat don't even deserve to be here. He don't even deserve all the accolades. And he's freaking, you know. But you know, it is what it is, man. Like I said, I just try and take the positives, man, and see. Especially too now because, you know, I know you already went through this, but I'm completing my master's right now, kinesiology. So it forces you to dive deeper, man, to the you know, to the philosophies of technology and sports and all these things. So I think about it a lot more than I would normally think about it at the moment. And it's a good thing though, because I learned, man, and just really have an open heart to it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, Ricky, you were known to have an aggressive style of play. Did you feel like you had to play more aggressively to make up for being a 5'8" cornerback?
I didn't feel that way at the time, but now looking back, maybe it was something, like, because I'm thinking like when I'm scouting kids and looking at, if it's a 5'8" guy, I'm like, he's too little. Like I need them tall corners, but when I think about my mentality of the game, it's crazy because like at UCLA, right, we had this GA that used to have to watch me before games because I would actually go up to wide receivers in warm-ups and start trying to fight them, like talking smack. Like I was bad, right? And crazy, you wouldn't even believe who that guy was that used to watch me, the GA, they used to have to watch me in warm-ups. One of them was Jason Tarver, right, who became D coordinator for the Raiders for a while. Stanford, I think he's a D coordinator somewhere right here. But he used to have to watch me in warm-ups because he was a GA there. He had to make sure Ricky didn't get in trouble, right? So I was a hothead, man. I played with a lot of aggression. And a lot of that was from my background, where I grew up around, man, and how I came up, just tough as nails, man. So I took it out there on the field, and that's just how I played the game, man, with a lot of heart, a lot of passion. The other coach that used to have to watch me in warm-ups, man, is currently the head coach for the Carolina Panthers right now, which is real ironic too, right? But yeah, man, I used to have to watch me, man. He's telling me a story about how I used to have to stretch before warm-ups because he had to be ready for me to watch me so I wouldn't go off, man. But that was the young me, man. When I got to the league, I kind of toned it down a little bit, because obviously now you're playing with guys and it's a little bit different in the league. But don't get it twisted. I still was an animal out there.
Yeah, but
it's a little different.
Too. In the league, you get to doing that, they're going to find your ass.
No, but the thing about it is what crazy thing about it in the league, Dante, was in college you couldn't even cuss, you couldn't say nothing. But like, but in the league, you can go to blows real quick and just break it up. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I like this. You can fight, push, get in team fights, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? They like basketball, NBA, where you argue a call and they give you a tech.
Yeah.
In football, they kind of let you, they let you scruff it out a little bit. Get a little uppercut in there once or twice. If you get away with it. Sometimes they get you back on the film. And you get that FedEx on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
That FedEx, which is a fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the NFL game because they let you I can do this. It's okay. Yeah, I love that part about it, man.
Yeah, man. So what's on the horizon for you right now? I know we was chopping it up for 7-8 days in LA this past year, coaching that game. So what's on the horizon for Ricky Manning?
Man, I'm the dream, man. The game plan ain't changed, man. I'm still grinding. I'm still waiting, and chasing after another opportunity, man, to go back to the NFL to coach. I'm close, man. I'm right there. So I'm still moving, man. Right now, I'm the defensive coordinator at Clovis North High School. I've been volunteering there for the last 2 years. We've been back in Fresno, and it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome for me to grow as a coach, help grow the program, man, and help coach coaches and players. And again, man, I'm still, my horizon, man, is still grinding for those opportunities, man, getting better, perfecting my craft. And it's opportunity is another opportunity for me to do that, to teach the defense that I know in its entirety now, right? So, the more you teach it, the more you talk about it, the better you know it, the better you learn it. And I look at the game a little bit different now, a little bit more well-rounded, and it's awesome. And I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it, man. And like I said, I'm gonna get my opportunity. And really, I'm going for the NFL, but I'm also looking at college opportunities as well too. Because I also like the college atmosphere and what a good coach and what the mentorship means to those kids, at that level. So that's what it's all about, man. It's still God's plan, man. Hey, to impact the next generation, man. Whether it's young college kids, whether it's young NFL or old NFL guys that are, trying to progress, man, and do something positive with their life, man, and improve their game. So That's what it is, man.
Well, for me, that offer still stands, and we've talked about it before. So whoever get it first on everything I love, the phone call is that you the first phone call, and I'm pretty sure vice versa. So
No doubt. I'm just waiting, man. I'm waiting. That's what we need, man, for our guys to get up in there so we be good. You know, we'll have a crew, man. It'll be crazy, man, if you can put these cats together, man. It'll be awesome, man. How fun was it when we coached that NFLPA game, right? It was just
fun. It was hey,
mad, right?
The one cat we was coaching, he balling for Kansas City. He got like Sneed, remember the corner from what was it, La Tech? He got like 2 picks. He been playing.
Oh, for real? So you good with those names? I be forgetting stuff, man. I had a lot of hits to the head. You know, I was a tackling corner. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you already know. So
I already know.
The only reason I remember is because remember the first couple of days there practice was like him. He got swag.
Yeah.
Swag. So and he was long. So that's how I remember it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Nah, but that's gonna be a beautiful thing, man, and really it's gonna be a win-win, man, for us and for them. So when it happens, man, they better be ready for it. It's gonna be crazy, man, and it's gonna happen.
I know it. I believe it.
It's gonna happen, man. So I got faith.
Ricky, so let's get back into a bit more of your career. In the 2003 NFL draft, you were picked in the 3rd round, going 82nd overall to Carolina. What were your expectations heading into the draft?
You know what? The draft is crazy, man. I really didn't expect Carolina to pick me. And that's when I realized you don't know who's going to pick you, right? I talked to Carolina one time. I had a couple connections there. Deshaun Foster was there, who I played with in college. Rob Perry was there, who's a Fresno guy, who's a DB coach there. Jim Skipper, which is Kelly Skipper's father, who recruited me to UCLA, another Fresno State guy. So there was some inside guys there, but you know, you come in college, you don't know how it goes. You know, I don't know how it goes, right? I didn't think Carolina was gonna pick me, so my expectations wasn't for them. I didn't really know who was gonna pick me, right? But I knew I was gonna get picked, right? Didn't know where. It's crazy because I had an opportunity to go. You know, a couple guys got picked in front of me, corners that I outperformed left and right in college. You know, no doubt. But my combine wasn't the best, and it went against me. So I dropped. I kind of dropped to the 3rd round. But I was excited, man. I got picked by a fairly new franchise in Carolina Panthers, and it wasn't good, so I didn't know what to expect. But I was just excited to have a NFL decal on the side of my helmet. You know, did not know I was going into a team that was so grimy and blue collar and fit me so well, and that's how it worked out, you know. And we ended up, like I said, going to Super Bowl as my rookie year, and it was an awesome experience, man.
I was going to ask you about that Super Bowl experience. So for those that don't remember, that 2004 Super Bowl was the Janet Jackson. She had her wardrobe issue. I mean, that, you know, just to bring people back into when it was. What was it like playing on like a world stage, like a Super Bowl?
It was crazy, man. That one was in Houston too, so you know, to see Beyonce sing, I forgot what I think she sang the national anthem. She sang something there. I remember watching her practice. We was like, hey, let's stay a little bit longer out here real quick. Anyway, but no, it was awesome, man. Mr. Janet Jackson thing, of course. But the thing I can realize the most, man, a lot of guys talk about is being underneath those lights. You know, I was always a special team guy too. So I was always on kickoff, you know, that L1 all day. But that first kickoff, you watch it on TV, you see all those lights flashing. Right, to be underneath that, it was absolutely insane, man. Like I tell people, it's not even like a dream. It's more like a fantasy, man. It don't even seem real. Everything seems slow motion, right? And you can't hear nothing. It's like it felt completely silent to me, run down on that first kickoff. And I don't think I woke up until like the second. I don't think none of us woke up to the second quarter because we was all like, man, we in the Super Bowl. We was battling. It was a defensive game. But I kid you not, it was pretty surreal. It was pretty surreal starting out, man, and again, then you're going against Tom Brady, early in his many Super Bowl runs. I think that was his second at the time right there. So it was crazy, man. It was surreal, like a fantasy.
How was it playing with Mr. Angry Man?
Steve Smith.
Yes. He was a dog, man. I remember when we my junior year, we played the Las Vegas Bowl, and we ended up losing 17-16 in Vegas to Utah. They had some guys. They had Mike Anderson. They had one of my eventual teammates in Tennessee, Andre Dyson. So he couldn't play because I think he did something to his neck. So he was in Las Vegas, like a halo.
Remember that.
And how was it? Because he's a passionate dude. He's one of my favorite guys. And, we're DBs and we also, pick at receivers. But I think he was one of the more complete guys, very explosive, fast, not big, 5'9", but just a dog. How was it playing with him and being teammates with him?
Man, it was a challenge, man. It was a challenge athletically, man, because the dude is special, right? He don't do nothing conventional, right? Everything is unconventional. For DBs, for corners, we hate that. Like, I want you to shake one time, stick outside, and go inside. Don't give me this unconventional stuff. I don't know what you're doing. He would do what he wanted to do, but he had the ability to do that. He was small, but very strong with his hands, right? Very strong. And this dude's burst, like when that ball's in the air, like no other, bro. Like, so he was a dog, man. Playing with him every day in practice, it was almost a fight every day. You know what I'm saying? Because I was who I was. I ain't take none of that. I ain't take none of that. Trash talking? No. Let's scrap. Like I didn't score that with him several times. Like, what's up? You want to do this? Because you can't talk to me like them other cats. It's going down. All right? Mm-hmm. So me and Steve, it was always a battle, man. But again, it made us better, man. It made us better. It definitely made me better going against somebody like that every day in practice because just to try and stay with that dude, it was like, he did some stuff you like, this dude is ridiculous, man. And then that intensity, you can't take a play off. You can't be not focused against him. You got to focus every snap. So it allowed me to grow like that, you know what I mean? And then also, too, against me, I was bringing it to him. He can't just go talk crazy to me and think I'm going to bow down. I'm going to fight him every play. We're going to fight. We're going to be aggressive, and I'm going to be physical. So that was awesome, man, playing with Steve.
Exactly. Was Musheen there with you guys? You got
Yeah.
So, we're football guys. We somewhat historians as players, right? And just me coaching my young guys now, and they don't really know the history of the game. So I love that part of it. So touching on that, I think, in my opinion, Musheen was very underrated. And how was it playing with him, and what would you describe him in terms of his play, going against him in practice, having him on your team, and watching him do work up close and personal?
Moose, man, Muhsin Muhammad, man, he was an old school cat too, man. Like, we got him big possession receiver. He wasn't the fastest, all right? He was strong, right? And he played hard, and he was precise, and he worked hard, man. So going against Moose, it wasn't like you line up against Moose and you're like, oh, man, he about to blaze. He was real standard, but he was very consistent, man. He was very consistent in what he did. He did his job well. And, yeah, on a grand scheme, I would think he was kind of overrated. But, he got some love, right? Even when he signed that fat contract with the Bears, he did his thing. And I joined him a year later over there, too. He was our man there, too, him and Bernard. But Moose was always, even on that Carolina team, that Super Bowl team, he was a big part of that, big part of those big plays in the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship. Like, he did a lot, man. He was very consistent, man. And again, he played for a long time. Man. So completely different than Steve as far as the physical attributes. He was a bigger, more possession receiver, more like a Hines Ward, where he going to block, he going to run good routes. And the first man ain't going to tackle him. Going to have a lot of yak yards. But he was very solid, man, and consistent, man. And he was definitely a professional.
Definitely. I concur. That's why I brought that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, man. Oh, Moose.
How'd you
I think his daughter or something like that is like a beast athlete right now too.
Man, the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
How was it playing in Chicago? I liked you better in a Chicago uniform because we be on the uniform thing. I was like, man,
no doubt.
Chicago, I would swag that uni out, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how did you?
Nah, you right on. You right on. That's straight up. That's real. Chicago, I did like Chicago a little bit better. I know I love Carolina and a lot of the people we play with, but Chicago was just a little different, man. Like even the players, you know what I'm saying? Like I swear we were so immature. I felt like after practice we would be playing games, dude. Like hours after practice, like man, we got to go home, dude. Like why are we still here? That's kind of where we were, you know. Like we would always joke and have fun, man. Yeah, Erlacher in there, Lance Briggs, like we were clowns, man, all the time, and that's why we were so good. We were so relaxed on the field, and we would play. We would go out there and play. Like we would just be having fun, man, competing with each other, and that's what it was. It wasn't work, man. It was fun. You know what I mean? So I love Chicago, man, and then obviously the city of Chicago, man, Chi-Town, downtown Chicago, the eating, man, the food, going to Cubs games, checking out the White Sox. You know, all that comes with all that, man. And then playing in Soldier Field, man, it's second to none. It's second to none. So definitely enjoyed that part, man, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to hit
Lake
on that.
Michigan, baby. Lake Michigan. All right. Michigan really had some good shopping over there, too. My wife really enjoyed that time, too. Some real good shopping over there on Michigan Ave.
I was going to ask you about that playing at Soldier Field. Would have been one of my questions for you as well, but you touched on that. So an interception is one thing, but what kind of feeling did you get running back a pick six? I believe you had 2 in your career.
Yeah, probably. How many did I have? Just 2? Dang. My first one was my rookie. I had a couple called back. My first one was my rookie year against the Giants. You know, I picked off what's the guy? I can't think of his name. My first interception touchdown was against the Giants. Against Jesse Palmer. Remember him? He was a bachelor.
Yeah.
You remember that guy? He was ended up being a bachelor. That was my first my first NFL interception return was off Jesse Palmer. After that, Eli took over.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, Jesse Palmer is Canadian.
Is he?
Yeah, I do believe he is, yeah. Dante knows. Yeah.
University of Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was my first. Yeah. That was my first interception touchdown. My pick six was against Jesse Palmer. Remember that at New York too, at New York. But yeah, I had a couple. But getting an interception is one thing, man. It's crazy because I always, Dante was a little bit more rehearsed with the ball, even though I was a quarterback. Running back just different. You carry it more, I always felt funny carrying the ball. I felt like somebody was gonna strip the ball from me. Like, yeah, I wasn't a good returner. You know what I mean? Like, but I had a couple. If I had a wide open field, I was good. But like, I just lose it when I hit the rock. So for me to get to the end zone, it was a challenge. And so when I got there, oh man,
party
game changer. I had that running back. I had that running back. You know what I'm saying, background like Tay did, but
you want to know what's funny? When I left high school, because I was predominantly a running back, kick return, punt return, I just played DB as my other position, right? So when everybody was recruiting me saying, man, corner, JD, corner, Pat Hill, like a couple of Pac-10 schools, we are Washington State, corner. I'm like, all right, whatever. When I got to college, when I got to Fresno, I couldn't catch as good no more. Like, I had to wear gloves because I, playing DB, I started wearing gloves and stuff. In high school, I just taped my wrist, I'm toting the rock. It became more different. And like you said, when you get the pick, a lot of people don't understand as a DB. They always try to say DBs were receivers who couldn't catch. That's bullshit. That's not the truth.
No, I got hands. I can catch
the ball, but they don't understand when you start focusing on your pedal, reading your 3-step read, reading the route combinations and stuff, and they throw that ball, it happens so fast. It's like, and now it's like, and then you got all and you trying to get somewhere, and you kind of forget sometime, and I used to always get in trouble for doing the prime time stuff, but you just kind of forget, and it's a split second. That feeling that I'm talking about. It's hard for me to explain. Yeah. People who've never been in that situation, but it's just different. Everything heightens your senses, and it's like a ooh, and then now it's time to go. So it's funny you say that because I felt like my ball skills once I got to college. I mean, I could still catch punts and kickoffs and stuff, but just my natural catching ability from playing offense in high school, it kind of diminished because I wasn't doing it as often.
Yeah. So yeah, we get the deer in the headlights. So when we got in the end zone, man, it's like. It's crazy. We're very thankful. I'm very thankful. Like I made it, but also too, football wise, it's also we know it helps the offense. So anything we can do, we can put points on the board, and you can be a part of that, man. It's like it's a step up, man. It's like a extra advantage for the offense.
Game changer.
Yep.
So, Ricky, who are some of the hardest receivers for you to cover in the NFL?
Man, it was a host of guys that I was playing when I was playing that were pretty special, man. Besides Steve Smith in practice every day, guys like Marvin Harrison, man, was real hard to cover, man. Crazy dude, quick, don't say nothing. My trash talking didn't work with him because he just did not say anything back to me. He just looked at me like, well, I don't care what you're talking about. I'm not gonna say anything. Like, so I had to just match his speed, which I couldn't do. T.O., the T.O. was doing his thing at the time, he got to the Eagles that second year. So he was doing his thing. He's a hard guy to cover just because he's a freaking gamer. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, you got to cover those guys, man. Those are straight technicians when it comes to routes. Andre Johnson, a lot of those guys, man, came in the same year. He was in his prime. So, there's a lot of guys, man. I never got to cover like Moss. Even though he played against Minnesota, I didn't get a chance to cover him. A host of guys, man. A host of guys. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot of them. I'm just thinking of some of the big games. Deion Branch was another one that was at Patriots that, he did his thing. Other guys. But yeah, that's a couple of those guys, man. Keyshawn towards the end of his career, he always battled. I got to cover Jerry Rice. He's in Seattle. In his career.
Good go.
I can't wait to cover Jerry Rice, man. He was not the Jerry Rice, but still, I got to cover Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? I got to cover Jerry Rice. The Jerry Rice with braids.
The receiving ones. You stupid. What's funny is when you say Marvin Harrison, everything you said is dead on. That came in scrimmage as my rookie year in Tennessee, and I've never seen a guy that was that fast that could also change direction as quick. He ran a corner post on me in a scrimmage, and Chuck Cecil was our safeties coach, and he was like, Dante, son, that's a Pro Bowler. That ain't the first time or the last. Good coverage.
Bro, it's so funny you mentioned that, right? My first, like really, not NFL game, but really seeing like some of the NFL players, my senior year in college, right? I went to the Hula Bowl, which is an all-star game in Hawaii, right? And let's go to the Pro Bowl, right? And I kid you not, I'm going to watch all my, especially Champ, too far. I'm watching. So Champ Bailey was covering Marvin Harrison, right? I think this was in the game, right? And I kid you not, Marvin Harrison ran the coldest post-corner route I've ever seen in my life. And I'm in the stands like, I can't go to the NFL. I can't cover it. Like, there's no way I got to cover a guy like that next year, like, in a couple of months. He ran the coldest post-corner route. Like, he gave so much to it, and it was so, like, quick and crisp. And when I tell you Champ Bailey was still square, like, all over it, I was like, oh, heck no. I can't cover like that. This dude just covered the post-corner like it was nothing. And I was shook in the stands.
Right.
And it was a post-corner route by Marvin Harrison. I'm like, and my rookie year, I got to cover him game 3. We 3-0, they 3-0, Indy. We're Peyton. I'm like, the first play I covered, dude, I'm in press technique. I kid you not. He left me there. It was like, set height. He was gone. I was like, oh, snap. Ran the first 2 plays, bro. I was like, dang. I was thinking about that freaking post corner I watched as a college kid. It was a post corner route, dude. That dude was ridiculous. After that, I never covered him square. I always was in a Deion attack mode. I'm like, I can't wait on this dude. He's way too fast. So every time, as soon as the play starts, I'm punching him from the jump. Like, I got to slow him down. I got to put hands on him and be physical.
Reggie Wayne wasn't either.
Reggie Wayne was too. Reggie Wayne was nice too. Reggie. I forgot about Reggie. Yeah, Reggie was. That's when he was just starting to get up. I played against him in Super Bowl too when I was with the Bears. Yeah, he do his thing too. Reggie was a baller, consistent too.
Indeed.
There's some guys, man. I mean, there's so many dudes, man. Well, I forgot about Wes Walker too. He was up over when he left Miami. He was with Peyton and he was with Tom. He was another dude that was nasty in the inside too, where I played nickel, man. Wes Welker, man, all those little slot guys. They had a couple of slot guys too. that were pretty good.
A lot of people,
Yeah, man.
it's not the big name guys. Like it's so many guys that are underrated that are cold.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely is.
like Kevin Dyson. Like Kevin Dyson was probably one of the coldest cats I ever had to cover, and I'm doing it in practice every day. First round pick, he just never, because he had some injuries and stuff, and never got to maximize what I saw every day. I was like, dude, he's so nice. Like 6'2", could run, good hands, and he'll get in his stance, he take off, he'll get your eyes to get up where his eyes are, and then he thing and just, man, it was amazing. And I was like,
and he got to wear that dark visor too. I'm like, man.
Hey, he was that deal, dog. And then we had this other cat named Chris Sanders. They called him Tippy Toe. He went to Ohio State. When I tell you that's the fastest human being I ever seen in real life, like 2 steps and he's already at full speed, like ridiculous. So it's some dudes, man, and people that aren't household names that people don't understand. Had they would have had, better luck with their injury situation, been on better teams, or just got the opportunities. These are some Hall of Fame type dudes.
Yeah, no doubt. Heck yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so it's a host of guys, man. Those are some I can think of off the top of my head that I had some nice battles with. But like Dante said, man, there's so many guys at that level. You hear about them, but sometimes you just don't. Dyson's one of them. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, but Todd Pinkston is not one of them.
No, apparently not.
Todd Pinkston is not one of them, right? That dude is so trash. I don't even know how he had so many good years in Philly. I tell you, this dude was like a freaking twig and not physical, and he let a little rookie just talk smack to him, and he just didn't say anything back. Like, he couldn't say nothing. James
Thrash.
James Thrash. I'm sorry. I end up dominating him in that game, but he didn't deserve to get the. They start calling him James Trash after that. He didn't deserve that. He was actually a good player.
He was.
I just had his number that day, and it did something to his mental. But he was actually a solid player. But they didn't have to name him James Trash after that game. That was cold. You Philly fans is cold for that.
Yeah, for sure. James Thrash. That's a name I forgot about after all these years. Actually, you say it now. I'm like, oh yeah, James Trash. James Trash.
I mean, that's like, hey, I remember my first year up in the CFL. We go play Toronto. I'm playing against Marcus Allen, younger brother, Damon Allen. That's my OG. Shout out to DA. And we got RJ Soward in the slot. Now, mind you, they could run like in a motion at you. And guess who I'm covering, Rick?
Who?
Bad Moon Rising. He was 38, but he still could get. Bro.
So he was 38.
He was 38, but I mean, I wasn't gonna let him take me up top, but he still was rising. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Still could run routes. He wasn't like 7. Like he was still nice. But I try to keep it, keep everything in front of me, and if just for me as a kid growing up watching him, and now I'm covering him and competing again.
Yeah. I was RJ Soward. When he was RJ Soward.
Gasolina. Hey, every bit of 4-3. And he got to back up and run to the line of scrimmage and get a running start. Like I said, man, this ain't even fair. It's not even fair. I didn't have to cover him much one-on-one, but I did get my first career interception against Toronto that game. I was covering Andre Rison, my inside nickel guy, which would be they call it halfback up in Canada. I saw Andre right before the half, and actually Michael Bishop came in right before the half, and he got a big arm. So I'm covering Andre Rison, and I'm keying the 3-step. Man, I saw Sauer back up about 15 yards right before the half. I knew what time it was, so I just took off running and left Dre, and then it was an overthrown. I played cover 3 over top of RJ, but let me tell you this: that boy was fast.
Gas. I know my gas, man. The fastest dude I covered, Steve Smith's fast. Marvin Harrison fast. Marvin Harrison more quick than fast. But what's the guy from? He played for the Cab. I'm messing his name up. I keep want to say Ginn. No, it's not Ted Ginn. It's I'm just having a brain.
Joey Galloway.
Yes, Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway was so fast, bro. When I tell you, we played the Cowboys in Dallas. He ran an out and up that I did not bite on at all. Like, I already knew it was out and up. And I was 10 yards ahead of him. But I tell you, that ball in the air, and he just, like, almost put a hamstring trying to cut him off so he wouldn't catch it. I was like, how did he outrun? How did he catch up and pass me when I didn't even jump the out route? I was like, I'm glad they had Quincy Carter, which was terrible. He couldn't get that ball to him because that dude was fast.
It's something about them Ohio State dudes, though. Like I mentioned before.
Something.
Cat that was in Tennessee with me, he initially got drafted by the Oilers. Chris Sanders, he went to Ohio State too. Man, Rick, when I tell you I've never seen a human that fast, and he probably could dunk on a 12-foot basketball court. That's how because he walked on his tippy toes. Like, yeah. And I was like, I seen him in 3 steps get to 60 miles per hour. Like, yeah. Like, I'm like, dude, how did you do that? Like, just retarded fast. So
yeah, speed. Call that speed on command right there.
Man, like he had posse rear end. He had a 6-speed. So I could definitely feel your pain, man, when them boys get to running and you trying to cut them off and look for that ball, and then you feel them pulling. You like, what's going on right now? Indeed,
crazy.
So Joey Galloway is the only Dallas Cowboys jersey I've ever owned, and will be. Joey Galloway.
Yeah, I'm not a big Dallas guy, but yeah.
Galloway.
You know, I'm a Raider fan, man. Town business, man. They could play on Pluto, and they still gonna be the Oakland Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
I collect jerseys and hats. It's what I do. I collect NFL jerseys. I mean,
Nice.
I bleed green. I'm a diehard Philly fan, but there's nothing wrong with collecting jerseys. It is what it is.
Nah, yeah, that's good. That's how my boys are. We ain't really like, because I've coached and played for so many teams. They're not like, you know, hardcore in any team. They just like players. Like, you know, I let them. We got several jerseys. They like players. You know, obviously the Seattle guys is near and dear to our hearts because they was around them. But you know, they like players. You know, so they watch like the great players. You know, whether it's Pat Mahomes, whether it's Juju Smith, you know, anybody, they watch players, great players. So, and I like it. I mean, I grew up a Raider fan too, you know, but obviously all that changed when I got drafted.
Mm-hmm. No, hey, whoever cutting that check is who you rooting for.
Yeah.
No doubt.
For sure.
I mean, I'm only a big time Raider fan, and here's the reason why I got to clarify it for my little Facebook homeboys. The real deal is I'm born and raised. I'm from Oakland, right? So they left when I was around 4. But ever since I can remember, it's been about that silver and black. So even when LA borrowed us for the 11 seasons or whatever it may be until they came back in 95, I was always a Raider fan. Win, lose, or draw, we could go 0-1,000. I'm a Raider fan. A Raider is synonymous with the city of Oakland. What it is during that era, you talking about the 60s and the 70s, you know, the Black Panther Party, just hard nose. You got to be tough growing up in the city, Rick. You know what I'm talking about. You know, trend setting. You talking about music. You talking about style. You talking about first around the world and things that was done. And it's just like, you know, I'm a Raider. You know what I mean? You from Oakland, you a Raider. So that's more so what it is to me. And I will always have love, for the organization at Silver and Black. I met Al Davis when I was in high school, man, and I saw his aura in the Oakland Coliseum when I was 10, man. It's just, you know, it's more to it than just the football team for me. So that's what it's really about.
No doubt.
So that's what at this stage, I'm like you, man. I like players. I watch the game differently. I'm looking at individual battles. I don't even watch the game the same as a normal person because I'm like, oh, man, they was in cover 2. Hey, man, where was the safety at, man? That corner didn't funnel that guy inside. Now he banged him on the sideline. So I'm looking at different things. And since we love ball, we get immersed in liking players versus I'm just going to stick to paying attention to this one team. So, yeah, I can definitely feel you on that one. I appreciate you, my good brother.
No doubt, baby. No doubt. No doubt. You know, I'm glad I can support, baby, any kind of way.
We gonna grow it. We gonna grow this thing, man. So me and
Yeah,
Ryan,
man, that's good.
he pulled me on into the dark side. I request people ask me, you should do a podcast. So I'm working out the kinks. Me and Ryan working out the kinks, and it's gonna be a big deal.
No doubt. No
We'll
doubt.
we'll get there. So Ricky, self-doubt, insecurities, and the fear of rejection are things that some people live with and deal with every day. Have you ever had any of these struggles?
I don't think I wouldn't say I've ever struggled with it. Definitely have experienced it, right? Whether it's self-doubt, whether it's just being unsure, as much confidence as I have in myself and my abilities, and confidence in my God, you still doubt things, am I, am I ready for this? Am I prepared for this? Will I be able to do certain things? So those always creep in my mind before, and still even coming today. Am I ready to be a father? Am I being the best dad? Am I being the best coach? Am I giving my kids all that they need? So those doubts are definitely still prevalent. But it's not about whether you have them or not. It's about what do you do with them. Chuck Pagano, remember he always say this. Dante, so what now? What? All right. So if you're feeling that way, how are you reacting to these feelings or these doubts or these situations? That's the most important part for me. And for me is I'm responding in the correct way. Not out of doubt, but out of faith. And not by sight. But by my faith. You know what I'm saying? So it may seem like something that it is or something that it's not. But I have to believe that it's gonna work out for my better behalf.
Yeah, that's really good advice and a really good way of looking at things.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep, no doubt. So, and sometimes it's better and it's not. Sometimes you get down. Sometimes you're like, man, I ain't ready for this, man. I gotta still do something more. Like now. In my eyes, I should have one of these coaching positions. I don't. I don't. Am I qualified? Am I ready? I think so. And sometimes I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm not. Well, they ain't saying something. Something's not right. But then also look at, well, what is God trying to say in my life? I'm a big person that be where your feet are. He has me here right now for a reason. So what I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna dominate where I'm at. I'm gonna dominate why. For whatever reason he want me here in Fresno right now and not in the NFL, not just yet. I'm gonna capitalize off of that. I'm gonna capitalize off of that and just dominate where I am.
I think you're gonna get the opportunity because you've already had a taste of it. You were Seahawks, you were intern with the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, you played. You have the experience, so it's just a matter of time, dog. And I ask myself the question. So it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm excited about it, man. Like I said, I'm excited about it, man. I try, how it is, man. I'm trying to get down on myself. I'm not trying to, let that negative stuff that triggers in your brain. I don't let it come to the forefront, man. Like, nah, I'm more than ready, man. Like, my opportunity is coming. I'm not giving up on it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm built for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm prepared for this. This is my intended purpose. You know what I'm saying? Things like that I got to keep telling myself, man, and go off of those instead of, letting that other stuff creep into your head. You feel me?
Well, the same mentality you have as a player, I know for myself, and I know you had this too. We had to feel that way, think that way, be confident in that way, assert ourselves in certain situations and areas that, sometime in the back of your head, you like, am I ready for this? Am I good enough? But having the confidence, sometimes you have to self-talk yourself into situations, and it's no different. You know this game, Rick. It's the same type of politics. It's even more in the coaching ranks, but the same type of politics you deal with as a player in this business is going to be the same that you deal with trying to crack into that coaching fraternity. So it's coming, man. You've been due diligence with the All-Star game, the NFLPA, obviously. You have the experience. You've coached at Fresno City. You coached at Fresno State, Seahawks. You've been around. You were a player. So the connections are there. We all know in this game that I'm in the same boat with you. We know all these people, but it's like, who's going to pull the trigger to give you that golden opportunity. So it's just a matter of time. And I say keep doing what you're doing and keep thinking the way you thought as a player.
No doubt. No doubt.
So last question for you, Ricky, before we let you go. What is something about Ricky Manning Jr. That we might not know about?
Oh, man. So I don't know. I just told you my whole life story, so I don't know. You know everything now. You know. That's a tough one. I'm stumped on that one. I play baseball. I'm coaching. I got 4 kids. I've been married 13 years. Maybe my wife's a Trojan. She went to USC. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the big rivalry between USC and UCLA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Crosstown rivalry, right? Well, I married a Trojan. I never beat USC when I was there. I went 0-4, right? So if I couldn't beat them, I just took their women. I took their women.
Take their women.
Just take their women.
That's awesome.
Just take your woman. You gonna beat me? I'm gonna get her now. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But she's a Fresno. She's from Fresno though, so we've been friends even while she was at SC, and that's why I'm friends with a lot of SC guys. Like, in fact, her college roommate married one of my buddies, Kerry Colbert, my teammates. We were neighbors in Carolina together, and he's an SC guy too. But my wife's college roommate ended up marrying my teammate, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, Trojans and Bruins, house divided.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Just imagine are you married, Ryan?
I was for 3 months. We're not going to get into that right now.
Okay, so just imagine your girlfriend or fiance was a Cowboys fan.
Ooh, not very cool.
And next to that Eagles banner right there in the back, and that Troy Vincent jersey. That's Troy Vincent, right?
No, that's LaShawn McCoy autographed.
Oh, LaShawn McCoy. I thought it was 23. I can't see the bottom.
That's okay.
But yeah, next to that shady aftermath jersey up there was Ezekiel Elliott right next to it.
That'd be tough.
No
How do you
thanks.
feel about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't like that very much.
You know what I'm saying?
Or worse, my person I hate the most, actually Tom Brady. Can't stand him. Great player. Can't stand him. Everything he touches is gold. Just enough already.
Hey, Brady, watch this. This is the most crazy thing. I am a Raider, right? So people say, well, how can you like Tom Brady, Dante, and the Tuck Rule with C. Wood, and y'all probably could have won the Super Bowl that year and all this stuff? I say, you know what? As a player, I'm not a civilian. I'm not a fan. As a player, as a fraternity, and as a football enthusiast, coach, lover of all things football, you got a recognized game. Now, this is the other crazy thing. All my life growing up, Joe Montana was the guy right across the bridge. I do not like the 49ers. I call them the Red Panty Gang, but you give credit when credit is due, right?
Yeah.
I thought Joe Montana was the greatest quarterback I ever seen play the game. Now, Tom Brady, I can't hate him. He's from the Bay Area, so he gets some cool points there. But I've single-handedly watched this guy have single-handedly taken his career from obscurity to being the greatest player to ever line up under center.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
You're talking about a late-round draft pick, didn't get his just due at Michigan, going back and forth, and then being drafted late just to hold a clipboard. To most people that in the football world thought he would be a clip holder, nothing more than a backup, serviceable backup. And for Bledsoe to go down and for him to pick up that flag and do what he's done with his career, it's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, you can't take it away from him. I know. I mean, you can't take the talent away from the guy. I just hate that he just happens to be one of the best ever to play the game, and defeated my team a couple times and when it counted, and it is what it is. Okay, Ricky, I guess.
But you got to admit, you like him a little bit better now that the Eagles beat him in the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, sir. I'm supporting. I'm supporting. We're good.
You like it a little bit better. Like, he's not too
good.
bad now because we beat him now,
Hey, at least I don't change my teams, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not a bandwagon jumper. Let's get that out right now.
No bad.
Philly for life.
No fair weather.
Yeah, I just wanna give a shout out. I love and appreciate this dude, man, and it's a joy to have you on. Talking ball, talking life. You know, this is like just a regular conversation for me and you, and I appreciate everything you bring to the table in terms of friendship, brotherhood, in terms of the football stuff, obviously, and just being a solid, down to earth dude that I rock with, that I met through two of your teammates that came to Fresno to play with me. It's crazy how everything meshes together. So I just want to say I appreciate you coming on, joining the show, shooting the shit with me and Ryan, and doing what we do for everybody else to see.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you guys having me on, man. And I wish y'all the best, man. It's pretty awesome. So anytime, man. You know it. You know it's all love.
Thanks, Ricky. Appreciate you being on. It's been fun.
What's up, guys? This is Ricky Manning Jr., and thank you for watching Inside the Minds podcast.